Alrighty. Good morning. It was work. I finished a couple minutes late just because it was a late night. And there's a lot to do, and they didn't think I could get it done. But I keep telling them they shouldn't doubt me. When I work fast, I work fast. I get my stuff done on time. Well, mostly on time. So, we do what we can. So. I do stalking. I'll say that. Not for long, though. That's... Or I should say, hopefully not for long. That should be changing fairly shortly. Alrighty. Let me make sure the playlist is shuffled and looped. All right. We need to look at fixing the first person legs. I can say I feel your pain because I have to do that all the time. So, yeah. Not fun at all. What's up? I don't even know what I'm doing here anymore. Yeah, no, double trucks. Double trucks. Fuck. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about work while I'm coding. What are you doing, Van? This is supposed to be my relaxing time. You're making me stressed. Can't believe you right now. Yeah, we're supposed to be fixing first person legs. Supposed to be fixing first person legs. However, the thing that I'm a little like confused about is with this I can get a gradient from the bottom of the legs up to the waist, which is how I'm like doing a nice like lerp to... Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, it sucks. I hope to not be working that. There's been a few life developments in the last couple weeks. So in theory, by the summer I might not be working thirds anymore. But we'll see. We'll see. Which might also mean more updates for Onyx. But again, we'll see. Golly, Unreal's frozen. I love this. I might go get some lemonade while this loads. Jeez. Yeah, let's hope. Oh, I broke the material. That's nice. There you go. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't apply the first person material to it. So like if I do this, you can see the hands are super stretched out because that's I'm on 120 FOV, so that's what it normally looks like on 120 FOV. And you can see that as I change this, as I get to 90, which is the proper FOV, or that's what the gun is being rendered at, as I get to 90, yeah, it mostly. Actually, am I rendering? Oh no, I'm rendering this at 79. Maybe. I don't even remember what I'm rendering it at anymore. Is it lower than that? 76? 70? Being rendered at something. Either way, that's, you can see like the gun stays the same FOV, but the rest of the arms stretch and whatnot. And so does the reticle, because I'm a fancy man. And I make my reticles scale, or I make only weapons that have spread reticles scale based off of FOV. So like you can see the pistol reticle stays the same because it's a precision weapon. It doesn't need, the SMG has spread, so I like to show that spread properly. Unlike Infinite, where every single reticle scales. But that's why, you know, like this is what the legs normally look like in high FOV. So if I start changing that, you know, that's why the legs start to look weird. It's very strange. Yeah, that's what we were trying to fix. Because yeah, the legs look, I mean, fine here. The more you look at them, the more they get a little weird, but yeah, no, that's what we were trying to fix with first person legs. To make that look better, because if I don't know if I can find the right angle. Yeah, if I slide like this direction, you can tell the shadow of the legs don't match up with the actual model of the legs, and that's because we're doing some weird morphing stuff. However, and that's what like getting this value is doing, is it's, oh my goodness, is it's creating this gradient just for the legs. So from the value of white, it's world space, and then from the value to the value of black, it's in first person space. However, when our legs are on the ground, right here is about 50%, which means 50% of this is still being transitioned to like first person space. Which if our legs are on the ground, then just the entire thing should be like the entire leg, the entire, what's that, shin? The entire shin should be in world space, and that's where I'm not quite sure how to do it. I don't know if like, I don't know if I need to put a variable in this that says like local player. Actually, I would just use my material parameter collection, but I don't know if I stick a variable in there saying like the floor normal, or the floor position and the floor normal, and then the hip position and the hip normal, and do like calculate it based off of that. However, if I shut up. If I do rotation stuff, then I would think it would be more fun. I have yet to actually do like a full project with like somebody else. Like, I mean, I've got like my level designers and stuff that are helping here. But like in terms of like working on other projects with people, like that gets I personally am just, I don't like coding stuff with other people. Like if other people have access to the code and I'm also coding, because then you have your coding style and other people have their coding styles, and then you know what you've coded and you don't know what they've coded. So like I've got interfaces and stuff that, you know, help my coding for Onyx to be easier, but then if somebody else makes a function that I don't know exists, then I'm going to go create a new function that could go and do almost the exact same thing, and then now you have two functions that are doing the same thing at different times. It depends. Like if your friend is working on art and you're working on code, oh yeah, it's super fun to work on projects together with people. But if you're working on projects together where they're also coding, then that can become a hassle, and honestly, in my opinion, is tedious, and that is why I refuse to bring on anybody in Onyx to code. So many people have offered to they're like, oh, I know Unreal Engine blueprints. Yeah, sure. However, I'm very particular about how I like to code and how I network, because I do a lot of network optimizations ahead of time. I just don't want to bring on other people. So yeah. I also made a slight change on my lunch break a couple days ago. So the brightness of lights actually like lowers as you get further away from it, which, because it was causing this kind of flickering issue, which you can kind of see like right here as I walk left and right. I don't know if it'll come across on the stream, but like the lights kind of flicker and it just looks bad. You can see it in that gameplay content video I made, or that game content. This one. You see the flickering light. Like, yeah, as players like got further away. Golly. That's the super compressed one for Discord. Let me grab the high quality one. Ah! I need a video where I spawn and they're like super far away. I also want to fix that bug. That's so annoying. Alright, here we go. Yeah. Like one frame, you can kind of see the lights on his chest. The next frame, there's no lights pretty much. And then like, you know, you can just see it as I go through this clip slowly, like just different parts of the armor. Just because of how Unreal Engine, or just how games render, like you can just see different parts of the armor flickering. And that's because different pixels are rendering different sections of the armor based off of where they are on your screen. And the way Unreal Engine does its like bloom calculation is it's always just the same. I think I might be wrong about this, but the way I'm assuming it does it is the way Unreal Engine does its like bloom for like making things look like it's glowing. You know, it's got that like, it's got that area around the actual object that like is like blurred to make it look like it's glowing. That's what's called bloom. I feel like the way Unreal Engine does its bloom is it's always in screen space. So like if we look at this, like let's say that's like 10 pixels. If we walk closer to the armor, it's still pretty much going out 10 pixels. It's a little bit more since I'm closer now. Like as I get further away, you can see that like it's still 10 pixels and it keeps still being 10 pixels. And then I added some code. Yeah, anti-aliasing would fix that. Like if we go to method number, that's not the right one. 2. Yeah, if we go to method number 2, yeah, you see, you kind of lose the flickering because it's like blurring the pixels together. But then everything else just kind of, honestly, I kind of hate the way anti-aliasing looks in engine or in game engines, which is why I tend to use this anti-aliasing because I think it just looks the best. Some things like the lights on the gun kind of flicker a little bit. I'm fine with that, honestly. I don't, and I just, all the other anti-aliasing methods that look good have terrible ghosting. Like I think number 3 or no, number 2. The reason why this one looks so good is because it's using like past frame data. But in my mind, other than the gun moving, the rest of this world is sitting still. So it's using the same frame data to drive the anti-aliasing to create this smooth image. So, why can't you just do that same anti-aliasing method, but using the same data from the same frame that you're rendering? In my opinion, that would create a still perfectly smooth image. Like if it works on a completely flat image that nothing's moving on, it should work by just using the same frame. I don't know. I don't understand anti-aliasing in its entirety. But what I just did is in my emissive balance function, I have a function that makes all colors to look like they're glowing at the same brightness. I did a function in there to where as you get further and further away, it like lowers the level of the glow and it's clamped to a certain value. So as you get further and further away, you can still see the glow. It's still there and it still does flicker, but it's less insane. You can actually see the player's like silhouette a lot easier from a distance, which did I close that video? I did. Why did I close it? Death screams. I need some good distance. Oh yeah, see, like right here, perfect example, prime example. Like, look, he's barely glowing on my screen. Now his like entire body's glowing. Now his entire body is definitely glowing. Now it's like his chest area. Now that looks like almost like one leg. Like, you know, every frame is just a different part of him is glowing, and it just doesn't look as good. And with it flickering so much, it becomes really hard to read the player and read what they're doing, because let me turn the volume down. It becomes really hard to read like what the player's doing. Like you can read their velocity because their velocity is moving, but like you can't see what gun they're holding. You can't see if they're like throwing a grenade or something like that. Like it's kind of hard to tell what they're doing, what their action is, which is why I want to reduce the lights at a distance. That way, it becomes easier to read the player's mesh, because instead of, otherwise the lights would overpower the mesh, and the glow like bloom of it would like blow it out. Actually, I think I can edit this while I'm playing. Material functions, emissive balance. So if I turn off that whole clamp, or that whole like material thing, yeah, you can see as I get further away, it's like super flickery. As I move my camera, it flickers. And if you're moving around, like it can obviously this player's standing still, but like it can be hard to read what that player's doing. Whereas if I plug that back in, obviously at a distance anyways, because of pixels, it's hard to read what they're doing. But like, to me, that's just easier to read. It's less noticeable flickering. And you still see the shields like flare at the distance. So you still get all the important information. So, I don't know, little game dev rant, whatever. But that's an update I made yesterday on my lunch break, I think. Oh, and I can show you guys this. The official boost models. We probably might actually work on this on stream. I'm debating between working on this, and I kind of know what you guys are gonna vote on. I'm debating giving you guys the option to vote, but I think I know what I want to work on and what I will end up working on, and I know what you guys are gonna vote on. But it's either between getting these models in game and slash or, because the leg stuff I need to do some tests with that, and I'm not gonna do that on stream because otherwise I'm not gonna get anything done. So it's either getting all these models in for the crystals for the different boosts. So the boosts are, we've got shield boost, which is basically just an overshield, a damage boost, a speed boost, and then invis, which isn't necessarily a boost. I guess it's just boosting your inverse, boosting your visibility, boosting your distortion. I don't know. But that's what we consider boosts, because you'll crush one of these, like you'll hold one of these crystals in your hand and you'll crush it, and like that'll like explode and like give you the effect. So when you crush like a damage boost, which is this one, like this will be a red crystal, and then when you crush it, it'll like explode and like your player will get the damage boost effects. I think it'll look cool. So I obviously have to create that animation. But yeah, this is the damage boost. It's all spiky and it'll be red and all. This is the invis. Also spiky, but more like actual like crystal hexagonal type shapes. This is going to be the speed boost, so this will be white, which actually fits this model perfectly because this is more like a salt type crystal. And then this one's more rocky, so you know, you think like strength type thing. So this is going to be the shield boost, so this will boost your shields and give you an extra layer of shields. A damage boost, yeah, because you'll be holding it around the center, so when you crush it, there's nothing to stab the hand of the player. So it's either between adding all of these boost models in the game, getting the pickups and stuff working, that way I can finally pick up and drop invis, or working on the third person animation, well, because there's no first person animation, but working on the animations for the ground pound. That way, instead of this happening, this was actually really cool when it happened. My buddy Millie, he's gotten so insanely good at the ground pound already, and it's he's only had it for like a couple weeks, and like, I mean, you can see in this test session we were playing for 33 minutes. Like we were just having fun. But like he was doing some insane plays with it. Like I think he killed me in this game at least 4 times just directly with the ground pound, which the whole point of it is that you can't do that often. But he's gotten so good at it already that he's gotten like really good at doing it. So like I teabag him there and he immediately spawns up here, which is just very unfortunate for me. And you can see he just starts ground pounding towards me, and I just get a full face of foot. So, you know, actually having the ground pound animation of like the fist going up and the fist, you know, punching when it hits the ground and all would be, and the VFX for that too, would be pretty cool. So that's kind of what I'm debating working on today. You know, we're going to get these exported and into the engine. Export FBX models equipment. underscore invis crystal. Select object, export. Oh, I didn't have anything selected. That's nice. Yeah, and they were super fun because like damage boost and speed boost stack, so you can actually let me open up the old version. I can show. Yeah. I mean, obviously, in a normal match, there's only ever going to be, like, if there are boosts on the map, there's only ever going to be one or two. And you can't, they don't spawn fast enough for you to be able to stack them. And they probably wouldn't respawn until it's been used. So, you can't really stack them in a normal match, but in things like Super Fiesta or, you know, Crazy Forge modes or something like that, like, or sorry, Atlas modes. That's what our level editor is called. Let me launch the old version in the background, and then I can show that while we're importing these. So models, equipment, boost, not bossed, boost crystals. I've got a few tutorials open on how I want to like create the crystal materials, but don't know how close I'm gonna stick to those tutorials. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Your damage output is just directly related to how many boost crystals you can pick up. Damage crystal, invis crystal, shield crystal, speed crystal. Open. Import. How big are these relative to the world? Dang, son. Them things tiny. Are they actually that tiny? Let's get a player model over here so I can scale these based off of the player's hand. All right, I'm just gonna turn off the snapping. Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. Okay, actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's not that small. Then again, this hand is not exactly in the right pose to be for this. Oof, this also has snaps. I kind of want this thing to be like, I kind of want the player's hand to like, not exactly rep. What is that? Why is there a hole? Tisk tisk. I'm gonna have to fire my guy. He had a hole in his model. That's, I can't be having that. Oh, he's fine. I'm kidding, obviously. He's a great modeler. He's the one who's been doing all the weapon models and everything, so I can't fire him. I don't want to. I retract my statement. Yeah, let's see what that scale is. Let's just go 1.6. Make it nice and okay. Yeah, 1.6. So let's reset this. Reset the rotation. Turn all of my snaps back on. And let's go scale all of these models by 1.6. And yay, we get to re-export them. Invis. Damage.